All right, Zachary Weiss here, PSN with Amanda Kalin, guard for the Duquesne women's basketball team. Amanda, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
Good, good. Just for you to start with, just how did you manage through, I guess, the pandemic and your journey back onto campus?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of crazy. It just reminds you that there's a lot of things out in this world that are beyond our control. But I just realized I wasn't in control. So I just try to take things day by day, kind of take that time to just be with my family and get my mind right and just come mentally prepared and ready to go. So it was hard to do a lot of the physical aspects of things. I was able to get outside and run and do stuff like that. But I guess the main thing I did was kind of get my mind right and just get mentally in check for the season.
You go from disappointment, obviously leaving Dayton in March, but the potential of having a WNIT, and of course things change. Just how quickly were you able to make that mental adjustment and realize, hey, we're all in the same boat, every last one of us, and it's just on to the next?
You know, it was actually pretty quick because you realize it's affecting literally everybody in the world. And again, there's far kind of greater things going on. And it was easy to just like to rely on one another and just say, you know what, like it just kind of is what it is. There's nothing we can really do to change it. So just try to take it day by day and make the best out of the situation.
What was it that you worked on, Amanda, just over that extended break to either better yourself, just whether it's on court, mental strength and conditioning, whatever it was?
Well, it was definitely hard to get into the gym because they were all kind of closed down. So that was a little bit more difficult. I just kind of returned to exercise um, that I kind of enjoy, maybe just running outside at maybe my own pace. It was kind of hard to do basketball as well. Like I have a hoop in my house, but it's a pretty small patio area. But I would say like mentally, I got, um, I reset myself, and that was kind of the main thing that I worked on, especially because we were off for an entire 6 months. So it was kind of hard to see when we would come back and when we wouldn't.
Understandable. Just how excited are you? I know that there's a lot of whens, ifs, and ambiguities with the season in every single way, but just to be able to see your teammates again and just get the opportunity to salvage whatever practice and ability to practice that you can.
Yeah, I mean, that was the longest I've ever spent not playing any sort of sport, which was very new and different for me. So while it was a nice break, I guess it was really good to get back, see everybody, be around my teammates, just start practicing again because I'm already a senior at this point, so I'm kind of towards the end here, and I just don't want to take any moment for granted and just really appreciate the opportunity to be able to even just practice and just see my teammates every day because COVID kind of reminded you that that all can be taken away from you in a second.
How was, obviously we're on a Zoom chat right now, just how was it maybe having to rely on things like this, like Zoom, just to be able to interact with your teammates on a daily or regular basis?
Yeah, I mean, I became very familiar with Zoom real quick, especially with like doing it with school and everything. Um, but I guess it's the best sort kind of interaction that we can have if we can't physically be with one another. Because FaceTime, I mean, you could do group FaceTimes, but Zoom, this way you can get a big group together, see everybody at once, and it makes meeting with everybody more convenient. Just a easier way to communicate if we can't physically be with one another.
A big thing that I know Coach Dan has talked about has been about defensive identity. Just how have you guys worked on refining and more for better identifying your defensive identity throughout this practice time and in preparation for whatever season we have?
Well, they say like defense can win games while we're solid on the offensive end. I would say like defense is always something that people can improve on, and that's definitely what we're trying to focus on. So, just focusing on the fundamentals and making sure everybody's on the same page. There's a big emphasis on communication, which is always something that we can get better at. Um, so I think like focusing on like that aspect is very important, which we've definitely gotten a lot better at, and we've really been focusing on that and getting ready to just play our next game and prove that we can play defense.
You guys have such an interesting group, being that there's a lot of core returners, including yourself. There's a lot of individuals that didn't get to see court time last year. They were redshirting, and you've a good blend of newcomer transfers as well. Just how nice has it been to have kind of a little bit of everything and to be able to have that familiarity, but also kind of push yourselves that much further to be that cohesive unit?
It's really good with people that we had new that came in, the people that were redshirting. It just creates a really good atmosphere in practice where everybody's competing and we're all kind of making one another better. So that's kind of, I think, a very important aspect of any team is pushing one another to be the best that they can be. And I definitely see us doing that this year with everybody competing like extra hard.
What do you think will be the biggest challenge in terms of things that you can control? Just what do you think will be that roadblock that you guys might have to overcome?
In regard to just any like COVID or just anything.
Anything that you all as a team can control.
Oh, like I said, I would say just like our communication and just staying together with one another, supporting each other, because it's going to be, we can't control every other outside factor with scheduling all that, but we can control our attitudes and how we react and how we support one another. So just kind of staying like a tight knit family will be very important throughout this whole entire season.
Is there any plans potentially to do some kind of scrimmage monitored or however it can be just to kind of make up for the lack of non-conference slate or whatever, or some kind of form of some kind of games against each other?
That might be a question for Coach Dan. I'm not
Coach Dan, sure.
sure, but yeah.
Fair enough. Just for you, in addition to the defense and communication, were there any takeaways last year that were maybe constructive that you saw that needed to be addressed, whether it's shot taking, just mental approach, whatever the case is?
For defense?
No, just generally speaking, other takeaways from last season that you or the team felt that needed worked on.
Definitely focusing on kind of rebounding, like boxing out, and just focusing on like the very next play, instead of like dwelling on, you know, if we're not doing too well, kind of just bouncing back quicker, getting everybody together. But that's pretty much it. Just I would say the defense was the big one.
Defense is an interesting area. Obviously, Cherie came back. She kind of became that defensive voice last year, but it seems like obviously she's grown maybe defensively just as much as you have. Just how nice is it for kind of you all to be a part of this journey and that want to succeed on that end of the ball?
Oh, it's really great. You could tell Coach Cherie is fully committed. She watches a lot of film. She goes back and sees what not only like we can do better, but she as a coach can do better. And I think that's been really great because we all need that championship mindset, and doing that, you need to be willing to do whatever it takes to win. And I definitely see that with her as well as the rest of the coaching staff and everybody on our team.
And last one, we'll get you out on this one, Amanda. Just what would you think or tell fans to expect maybe for this upcoming season, just what they should look for from this year's Duquesne Dukes?
They can definitely see a team that's very close knit, and then we're going to fight till the end. We're not going to back down, and win or lose, we're all going to like stand together.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, Amanda, thank you so much for your time. Hopefully we'll keep in touch throughout the season, and best wishes for the upcoming season.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem.